Hello, it's Richard Wilson. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan today. I just finished up speaking at the Hedge Fund Congress of Tokyo downtown. And what I want to do is share with you an update just on family offices, the family office wealth management industry, and the hedge fund industry here in Asia. This summer I've been traveling around to Singapore, Hong Kong, and Tokyo, Japan, and I wanted to just share what I've learned about what's going on in these areas. First off, family offices aren't really allowed in the strict sense of the term in Japan due to regulations. So really what they have here is retail banking, and then you get more service basically if you're a high net worth or ultra high net worth professional. What that means is that family offices in other areas are growing faster than they otherwise would because people in Japan don't really have that type of service here. So family offices in Hong Kong, China, and especially Singapore are growing very quickly. That's what's interesting about Singapore, is that just in the last year and a half, over 1 million new people have moved to Singapore. It's grown from 4.2 million up to over 5.5 million people. The amount of wealth there is enormous. It's one of the richest cities in the world. It has more billionaires per capita than any other place in the world. Also, 1 out of every 25 people in Singapore is a millionaire. Now, when it comes to the hedge fund industry, what I've been learning here is that if you're going to start a hedge fund, there's so many regulations in Japan. Oftentimes it can take 6, 8, 12 months to start a hedge fund. There's a lot of red tape. Whereas if you start a hedge fund in Hong Kong, your rent and your expenses are higher, your overhead is higher, it's a little bit more expensive. Where if you start a hedge fund in Singapore, you can get registered typically within 2 to 4 weeks, open up your fund for 1/3 of the cost of what it might cost you in Hong Kong and a lot less than it costs here in Tokyo. So the result is that a lot of people are going to Singapore. When it comes to taxes, which affects both family offices and hedge funds, the tax rate here in Japan is around 40%. In Hong Kong, I've heard it's around 16%. And in Singapore, I've heard it's around 11 to 13%. So basically, Singapore has the best tax situation, tax environment for both wealthy individuals and hedge fund managers. Hong Kong comes in second, with higher taxes, around 16%, but also higher cost of living than Singapore. And then Japan is sky high in terms of taxes. It's pretty close to the United States. So if you think about where someone wants to start a hedge fund, Singapore and Hong Kong have the least regulation, the least expenses for getting started. They have lower expenses in operating than Tokyo and lower taxes. And because Singapore is the easiest to work in, the least regulation, the lowest taxes, there's just this huge influx of assets and money coming to Singapore. Everybody from Indonesia, Malaysia, New Zealand, even Australia, Japan, China, lots of people are going to Singapore. I imagine it's going to keep on growing very quickly, and that's the #1 lesson I've learned traveling here in Asia and speaking at a few conferences and meeting with lots of different wealth management firms and hedge fund managers, is that Singapore is really becoming a huge hub for growth in the future. Of course, China, Hong Kong, Tokyo will always be big cities and lots of further growth as emerging markets, as they're sometimes referred to, even though they're huge markets already. I do think Singapore is going to be the head of where a lot of business is done in the future. So hope you enjoyed this update on Asian hedge funds and the family office wealth management industry here in Asia. I know it wasn't really in depth. For those of you wondering how things worked over here, or you're looking to raise capital in this region, or if you're looking to start a hedge fund and you're based in Asia or near Asia and you're wondering where in Asia possibly to start your hedge fund, I hope this video helps you on your way in doing research on that topic. Thanks for joining me. It's Richard Wilson, and we'll see you again soon.